You're listening to The Binge, a podcast with no flashy production and absolutely no commitment to a single topic, because honestly, the world is too damn interesting for that. This is where random curiosity gets the microphone, where strange stories, overlooked ideas, and the occasional "what the hell is that about?" get unpacked one episode at a time. Some days we'll explore things you've never heard of. Other days we'll take something ordinary and dig into it until it becomes surprisingly weird. There's no schedule for the topics, no neat little categories, just whatever seems worth obsessing over today. So settle in, get comfortable, and let's see what's worth binging. This is The Binge.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
Here's a mildly unsettling thought to start your day. The most powerful system controlling your life probably isn't the government, social media, or some billionaire tech mogul building a rocket-shaped midlife crisis. It's your habits. Yeah, I know. That sounds like the kind of line printed on a motivational poster next to a guy doing yoga on a cliff at sunrise. But the reality is far less inspirational and a lot more interesting. Maybe even a little disturbing if you sit with it long enough. Your brain is basically an efficiency-obsessed machine that hates effort. If your brain were a coworker, it would be the person who spends 45 minutes building a complicated spreadsheet just to avoid doing 5 minutes of actual work. And the way it saves energy is by automating your life. Once you repeat something enough times, waking up at the same hour, checking the same apps, driving the same route, ordering the same coffee, your brain quietly hands control over to the neurological equivalent of cruise control. You stop deciding. You start executing. Here's where it gets weird. Psychologists estimate that roughly 40 to 50% of the actions you take every day are habits, not conscious decisions. That means for a huge chunk of your life, you're not actively steering the ship. You're just running scripts. Think about your morning. The alarm goes off. Your hand reaches for the phone before your eyes are even fully open. You scroll something, news, text, email, some social feed that somehow already has a million opinions before you've had coffee. Did you decide to do that? Or did it just happen? Then comes the rest of the routine. Shower, coffee, maybe standing in the kitchen staring into the refrigerator like it contains the meaning of existence. None of it feels like a decision. It feels like gravity. And the reason is simple. Habits are the brain's way of compressing repeated actions into automatic programs so you don't have to think about them. Which sounds helpful. And it is. Imagine if every morning you had to consciously relearn how to brush your teeth. All right, toothbrush, angle, teeth. Wait, are we scrubbing or painting? You'd lose your damn mind. So habits are useful. They free up mental space so your brain can think about other things. But here's the slightly unsettling part. Your brain doesn't care what habits it builds. It just builds them. Good ones, bad ones, neutral ones, weird ones. The brain is like an over-enthusiastic intern. It automates whatever you repeat often enough, no question asked. Scroll Twitter every morning? Habit. Grab junk food every afternoon? Habit. Work out 3 times a week? Habit. Fall down a 2 a.m. rabbit hole reading about Cold War spy satellites and ancient shipwrecks? Also a habit. The brain just shrugs and says, cool, guess we're doing this now. And habits don't feel powerful when they're happening. They feel boring, repetitive, almost invisible. But stacked over months or years, they behave less like small actions and more like geological forces. Slow pressure, quiet movement. Entire landscapes shifting while nobody notices. You don't suddenly wake up successful. You don't suddenly wake up unhealthy. You don't suddenly wake up brilliant, broke, fulfilled, miserable, confident, or stuck. You drift there. Tiny actions repeated daily steer your life like a ship adjusting its course by half a degree. Half a degree looks like nothing, but sail long enough and suddenly you're in a completely different fucking ocean. And here's where things get really interesting. Most people imagine their lives are shaped by big decisions, the dramatic stuff, choosing a career, moving to a new city, ending a relationship, starting a company. Those decisions matter. But the weird truth is they're often just the visible tip of a much larger iceberg made of habits. Take reading, for example. Someone who reads for 20 minutes a day doesn't feel like they're doing anything dramatic. It's just a small thing, a quiet habit. But after a year, that's roughly 120 hours of reading. After 10 years, that's 1,200 hours. That's hundreds of books, hundreds of ideas, hundreds of strange little mental detours that slowly reshape how that person sees the world. And the crazy part? It never feels monumental while it's happening. It just feels like reading before bed. And this is the strange magic of what economists call compound effects. Small things repeated consistently grow into something enormous over time. Money compounds, knowledge compounds, skills compound. Unfortunately, bad habits compound too. Skipping exercise doesn't feel like a big deal today. Eating junk food once isn't catastrophic. Scrolling your phone for an extra hour doesn't seem like it'll change the course of your life. But the compound effect doesn't give a shit about intentions. It only cares about repetition. Do something often enough and eventually it becomes who you are. You're not someone who occasionally runs. You're a runner. You're not someone who sometimes writes. You're a writer. You're not someone who occasionally wastes time online. You're someone who spends half their life scrolling. Identity, it turns out, is largely built out of behavioral momentum. And momentum is sneaky. Once habits get rolling, they become self-reinforcing. Your brain likes consistency. It likes patterns. It likes when things make sense. So if you start seeing yourself as the kind of person who does X, your brain quietly nudges you to keep doing X. It's like psychological inertia, which means a lot of people aren't necessarily trapped by bad luck or lack of opportunity. They're trapped by behavioral gravity. The routines they fell into years ago are still quietly steering the ship. Wake up, scroll, work, eat, repeat. Nothing dramatic, nothing obviously catastrophic, just the slow accumulation of tiny patterns shaping an entire life. And the wild part is that this process is happening whether you're paying attention or not. Your brain is constantly programming itself. Every day, every scroll, every conversation, every weird curiosity that sends you down an internet rabbit hole at 1:13 a.m. because you suddenly need to understand how medieval siege weapons worked. None of it feels like a big deal. But give it 5 years, 10 years, 20. That's when the compound interest of behavior starts cashing checks. The good news is that habits are ridiculously powerful tools once you realize they exist. Small improvements repeatedly, consistently can quietly reshape your life in ways that feel almost unfair. Learn something every day and eventually you'll know a hell of a lot. Write a little every day and eventually you've written books. Exercise regularly and eventually your body becomes something completely different. It's not dramatic, it's not cinematic, it's just persistence. The bad news is that habits were shaping your life long before you noticed them, which means the real question isn't whether habits control your life. They do. The question is whether you're writing the script or just acting in it. And if that thought makes you slightly uncomfortable, good. That means you're probably awake now, which is the first step toward changing the damn script. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe.
You know my now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Tune in right now. Got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.